This is exercises number 1 to 6 from my new book, Exploring the Fretboard, 100 Exercises for Guitar. Follow the lesson for free and pick up all the tips and even the exercises in the video. But there's a link for the book in the description. And of course, following along with the notation is a very important aspect of the book. So in this book, you're supposed to practice the exercises one at a time and then repeat them successfully for a few days and then move on to the next exercise. So just 2 to 3 minutes a day on one exercise at a time. And it's important that you say the note names out loud so everything sinks into your mind and your hands and that you know what's going on with the music. So today we're covering single string exercises, single string chromatic scales on the guitar. And we have to open the book this way because immediately it breaks you out of position playing and it teaches you every note on the guitar and the musical alphabet and how the musical alphabet works on the guitar. You might have done this before in my other books, but I want you to do it again. Because remember, you might be able to play this on the first try. You might be able to say it and do the exercise on the first try. But the act of saying the note names out loud is the exercise. That is the thing that will let it all sink in. So let's just do the first exercise and then I'll talk more about it afterwards. But like I said, even if you can do this, I want you to repeat just one exercise at a time for a few days successfully to let it settle in. It's very important that you do that. Otherwise, you're just memorizing fingerings. So you have to say it out loud and do it for a while. So the first exercise is an E chromatic scale up to the 12th fret on the first string. So we're just saying the musical alphabet in order, really. So I'll do it and then talk more. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E. So in one way, a very easy exercise. I can teach this to little kids very quickly and have them practice it all week. And it's great because it gets them playing, all the notes up to the octave on the first string. And after a week, they really know that first string quite well. And they're able to identify, any fret. So, and it's the act of saying it out loud, though, that is the thing that will make it all more familiar. If you just play it and memorize the fingerings and just kind of do it, that doesn't do anything for you. You have to be saying the note names out loud. And, this is just the beginning of the book. We have a long way to go with this book, and this is just a primer. And it's very important that you know this one because it allows you to identify notes on the guitar. Pretty soon we're going to be, jumping around and doing comparison exercises. But, if you don't know how to find the notes on the guitar, then it's going to be so difficult. So we have to start with this exercise because this is the musical alphabet on the guitar. It's also the way that we can play every note on the guitar. So very important exercise. And saying it out loud and just doing it one at a time is important. I recommend you don't practice a bunch of exercises at a time because you really just want one thing to settle into your mind. And so I've said this before in my other videos, but this book is for the patient student who's motivated to learn properly. And so, and that's why I'm recommending only practicing it for like 2 minutes a day. Is that you can just practice this exercise number 1. You can do it 3 times in a practice session and then stop. It only takes 30 seconds to do. But again, the act of saying the musical alphabet out loud is just so beneficial. And it's important that you know it before we go on to exercises that jump around the fretboard. You need to get oriented to how the guitar works, and you just need a little bit of time to actually just to say those note names. And as you do it, you'll find anchor notes like the B and that octave E. So you'll have some orientation to the guitar before we do more difficult exercises. Also, for those of you who don't know your musical alphabet very well, It's very important. Some people have a hard time counting backwards through the musical alphabet. I'm using sharps on the way up and flats on the way down. And so we end up with enharmonic notes, right? Like E, F, F sharp, G. But on the way down, it's G, G flat, F. So there's an enharmonic note, a note that shares the same pitch but has different letter names. F sharp and G flat are the same pitch, but they're called something different and written differently in music notation. And that the reason for that has to do with key signatures and the way that scales set up key signatures in music. It's very important that we write something as an F sharp or a G flat when we're looking at our repertoire, so that people who know more about music theory can identify, what the chord is, what the key is. It's just really important. And so you don't have to know any of this information, but by doing it, you'll know the musical alphabet, you'll become comfortable with it, and then in the future, we'll be doing more complicated things, you'll be learning more, ideas, and you'll have some beginning context, but more importantly, some practice actually doing it. So I'll go through the rest of the exercises now, but I'm just really cautioning you to take your time and to play each exercise for a little while, and you might be able to do it so easily, but just do it again. Just become even more comfortable with it, and just take your time to let it settle in. So that's the first string. Number 2 is the second string, so it's a B chromatic scale. B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B. You have to play a little slowly so you can say all the 2-syllable letter names, right? Exercise number 3 is, of course, the third string, so a G chromatic scale. G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G. You should find it easier every time you do a new string because it's the same musical alphabet on every string. It just starts somewhere else. So you're going to get better and better at it. But if you're making little mistakes, just keep repeating it until it's more comfortable, right? The fourth exercise is the fourth string, and it's a D chromatic scale. D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat, D. Fifth exercise is the fifth string, so it's an A chromatic scale. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F sharp, G, G sharp, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A. Then we get to the sixth exercise, which is the sixth string, and it's the same letter names as the first string. It's an octave lower, of course, or 2 octaves lower, but it's the same exercise in a way. E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, E. So You might find these exercises a little bit tedious. Some students might. I actually find this kind of stuff just so fascinating. I love exploring my instrument. I love exploring what my strengths and weaknesses are. But some might find it a little tedious. That's why you only do one at a time for 2 to 3 minutes a day. Keep it simple, keep it easy. You just add it to your regular practice, and then you don't think about it anymore. Don't stress about it. You're just going to do the activity for a very short period of time every day. And the benefits are outrageous. And if you find when you're doing that, if you ever get mixed up or say the wrong note name and things like that, then this is definitely an exercise you want to work on longer. You want to really solidify this. This is so important. This is the musical alphabet. This is the guitar. And when we start doing more complicated things and jumping around, you want to know this because as soon as you know like an anchor note, like E on the second string here, then you know the next note is F, and you know the next one is F sharp. Like you need to know these things in order to do more complicated fretboard work. So that's your task: is spend a lot of time, a long time, as long as you need to become very comfortable with this, and to be able to recite that musical alphabet and just do it. Don't worry while you're doing it if you're not, memorizing everything and retaining everything, or if you can't just immediately say what a note is. Just do it. Just do it and become comfortable with it. And there's a lot more exercises in the book. You'll eventually build up anchor points with some of the other exercises. So this is just an activity that you need to do. So take your time, enjoy it, and we'll be moving on to the next exercises.